So I saw Tim Pool talking about this before, and I thought it was too interesting not to comment on. And when I say interesting, I mean fucked. Now today we're joined by the lovely Sugar Tits because she's just more eloquent at reading articles. And when I say eloquent, I mean literate, allicatorate, or something? Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get right into it right after this quick sponsor. In 2000 and current year, it's really important to keep your body healthy all the time. Collagen may be the closest thing we'll ever get to the so-called fountain of youth, while also forming a wall of defense between your immune system and the rest of your body. A lot of health experts now agree that consuming collagen is crucial when it comes to renewing and revitalizing how you look and feel. The older you are, the more likely it's caught your attention, and for good reason. After all, collagen is the most abundant protein in your body and is essentially the glue that holds you together. In fact, after age 20, people produce about 12% less collagen in their skin each decade, and for some, it's an even greater decline. This means by the time you're middle-aged, you could be producing less than half of the collagen you did in your youth. Even worse, various lifestyle factors you may have been exposed to, like poor diet, smoking, pollution, stress, and excess sun exposure, can deplete your collagen levels even faster. So visit my page at healthwithbear.com and secure your supply of the only collagen on the market I trust. Link in the description.
New York City Public School asks parents to reflect on their whiteness.
And their blackness, and their brownness, and yellowness. And just, whatever colour they are. No, I'm only joking. I don't think that's going to be in the memo. Let's see.
Eastside Community High School Principal Mark Federman reportedly sent a survey to white parents asking them to identify their level of whiteness.
Yeah, see, this is just a white thing. There's no, level of blackness memo.
A city public school principal is asking parents to reflect on their whiteness, passing out literature that extols white traitors who dismantle institutions, education officials confirmed to the Post on Tuesday.
Okay, I'll admit I had to look up the definition of extol, and it means to praise enthusiastically. So this school is passing out literature to white kids that praises white traitors enthusiastically. Does that not sound a little bit fucked up?
The woke offensive at the Eastside Community School in Manhattan features a ranking list titled The 8 White Identities, which ranges from white supremacist to white abolitionist.
And here is that list. Now, we'll get a more in-depth rundown of these categories later, but for now, they go from white supremacist, right on the left there, to white voyeurism, then to white privilege, white benefit, white confessional, then white critical, and then we go to white traitor, and then to white abolitionist. Cool.
The curriculum, written by Barna Hess, an associate professor of African American Studies at Northwestern University in Illinois, claims there is a regime of whiteness and there are action-oriented white identities. People who identify with whiteness are one of these, Hess writes above the 8-point list. It's about time we build an ethnography of whiteness since white people have been the ones writing about and governing others, Hess adds. In between two extreme identities of supremacist and abolitionist are such categories as white voyeurism, defined as wouldn't challenge a white supremacist, desires non-whiteness because it's interesting, and white privilege, or sympathetic to a set of issues but only privately, won't speak, act in solidarity publicly because benefiting through whiteness in public. Some POC are in this category as well.
Oh, of course, those people of colour benefiting from fucking white privilege. Oh, it's just so insidious, amazingly insidious. For example, those albino black people benefiting from white privilege. I mean, do they benefit from white privilege? I've always wondered that. They're white, why wouldn't they? I mean, if white privilege was actually like a thing. The
handout was accompanied by a colour-coordinated meter with the red zone on the left titled White Supremacist and the green zone on the far right labelled White Abolitionist. A New York City Department of Education official told the Post that some parents at the school, which caters to 6 through 12 graders on the Lower East Side, first shared the material with staff. The principal then disseminated it to every parent as part of a series of materials meant for reflection and as food for thought, the official said.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if I believe that. This is some obscure curriculum written by an associate professor of African American Studies at a university in Illinois. I don't think a parent passed it on. I think PC Principal found it himself.
A DOE rep said in a statement, "Anti-racism and the celebration of diversity is at the core of our work on behalf of the young people of New York City and the Eastside Community School students. Parents and staff partnered together to advance equity in their community."
The celebration of diversity, come on. How fucked is your whiteness? How bad are you? That's the celebration of diversity? Fuck off.
The document in question was shared with the school by parents as a part of an ongoing anti-racist work in the school community and is one of the many resources the schools utilises.
Okay, so I guess now's as good a time as ever to go over the definitions set out in that graph we looked at before. The 8 White Identities by Barnor Hess. There is a regime of whiteness, and there are action-oriented white identities. People who identify with whiteness are one of these. It's about time we build an ethnography of whiteness. Okay. Since white people have been the ones writing about and governing others. Number 1, white supremacist. Clearly marked white society that preserves, names and values white superiority. Number 2, white voyeurism. Wouldn't challenge a white supremacist. Desires non-whiteness because it's interesting and pleasurable. Seeks to control the consumption and appropriation of non-whiteness. Fascination with culture. For example, consuming black culture without the burden of blackness. White privilege. May critique supremacy, but a deep investment in questions of fairness/equality under the normalisation of whiteness and the white rule. Sworn goal of diversity. Number 4, white benefit. Sympathetic to a set of issues but only privately. Won't speak or act in solidarity publicly because benefiting through whiteness in public. Some POC are in this category as well. Yeah, those people of colour with white benefit. Number 5, white confessional. Some exposure of whiteness takes place, but as a way of being accountable to people of colour after they seek validation from people of colour. 6, white critical. Take on board critiques of whiteness and invest in exposing/marking the white regime. Refuses to be complicit with the white regime. Whiteness speaking back to whiteness. 7, white traitor, and this is what they're pushing by the way. Actively refuses complicity. Names what's going on. Intention is to subvert white authority and tell the truth at whatever cost. Need them to dismantle institutions. 8, white abolitionist. Changing institutions, dismantling whiteness, and not allowing whiteness to reassert itself. Oh, God. Okay, that's just so fucking racist and insane. Like, can you imagine if there was a curriculum out there that supported black abolitionist, which meant changing institutions, dismantling blackness, and not allowing blackness to reassert itself? That's insane. That would be condemned instantly. Anyway, we need to finish this article.
The spokesman said school workers are being threatened over the missive. Our staff are now being targeted with vile racist, anti-Semitic and homophobic slurs and degrading language from people outside of their school, and nothing justifies the abuse directed at our educators, the rep said.
Yeah, have you ever noticed when these super woke people get backlash? It's always in the form of threats. But not just any threats. They're vile, racist, homophobic, queerphobic, transphobic, fucking ableist, fucking anti-Semitic threats that are racist and homophobic and sexist. You know, because they're clearly from the worst people in the world.
The dissemination of Hess's literature to parents comes as the DOE and schools Chancellor Richard Carranza have pushed to eliminate what they call current administrators' white supremacy culture. The administration has embraced anti-bias training across the board, with staffers forced to attend slideshow presentations denouncing the current culture's paternalism and power hoarding, while getting sued over Carranza's alleged creation of an environment which is hostile towards whites. The racial makeup of the student body at Eastside Community was 55% Hispanic, 18% white, 15% black, 10% Asian, and 2% other during the last school year. The school's principal, Mark Fetterman, declined comment through the education department. Fetterman made headlines in 2007 when he tried to prevent the arrest of a student accused of punching a school safety agent. The principal was arrested after scuffling with another agent during the fracas, but returned to school later that day.
Well, he sounds like a really level-headed, switched-on kind of bloke, doesn't he? And how about that racial makeup? 18% of the students at this school are white, and they're being targeted like this by the school administration. They are literally a minority, and they're the only minority that can be openly picked on because, you know, white people, am I right? What a shame. Anyway, that's me done. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you again soon. Catch.
Recession, dies.